Well, hey everybody. What we got here today is our first Bees and Trees field trip. So Jacob was kind enough to invite us out here to his woods, and the video won't do it justice for the size of it. It's pretty big. It's much bigger than the woods at my place. So what we're going to do is we've got a couple chainsaws, a couple of splitting axes, obviously see a tractor and a wagon. So we're going to take our stopwatch, and I'm going to start it when we start cutting. We're going to stay pretty steady, cutting, splitting, stacking, and at the end we're going to measure the stacked, not that one, that would be cheating, and see how long it takes to make as much wood as we can make. We'll see how many cords or fractions of cords we get to, and then we'll divide it by the time spent, and we'll see how long it takes to make a certain amount of wood. Okay, so this ash that Jacob's standing by, it's behind him now, is a blowdown, and this is the one we're going to work on. So a lot of wood here, a lot of firewood, and maybe some boards. So
yeah, from that root there up to this wide, looks like probably almost 18 in diameter. Be perfect for a chainsaw mill. Cut it up, we can pull it out with the tractor, but everything up to the top looks pretty much firewood from there. So it'll be a lot of splitting, stacking, and pulling out of here. So let's get to work.
all right, so stopwatch is ready. We're going to keep it running, and when we're done for the day, we'll see how long it was, how many hours it was. We're going to stay steady and see what we get into. All right, so we have the two main branches that we're going to plan on using for firewood bucked up into firewood log length. This was the cutoff where we're going to start thinking about boards rather than firewood here. So that's what we got, and the timer, it was just over 25 minutes when we shut the saws off and grabbed the camera to take this video. So we'll start splitting now. Okay, so we split everything we had bucked up. As you can see by the axes, it was all split by hand. And when I looked at my watch after the last axe fell, it was 49 minutes. However, it's 51 and a half now. So in less than an hour, two guys, two saws, two axes, and some pretty clear ash, got it cut and split into usable sizes. We're going to keep the timer running because next job is the stacking. This is the first load heading out. Okay, so we have the first load out of the woods and unloaded, and the time is going to be deceiving. It's going to say 22 minutes, but it's 82 minutes. Once the clock rolls over 1 hour, it goes back to zero. So 82 minutes to get the first load out and into the truck, and then we're going to keep the timer running because we've probably got two, what do you think? Two more perhaps, he says. And then we also have to count time to stack it once we're
Back down the road.
back down at the home farm. So we'll come back on the next step. Okay, so we kept the clock rolling. We stopped it there for a minute because we cut up and drug out the board log, so we stopped the firewood timer. We're at, I know this doesn't keep the hours, but just over 2 hours. So it's rolled over twice now as far as the stopwatch. So last load out and get it to the truck. We'll keep the timer running while we load it again like we have been, and then we'll go over to Jacob's place and stack it, keeping the timer running on the stacking. And once we get it all stacked and everything, then we'll figure out how much it is and see how fast two people can go to make firewood.
All right, we got a bunch of wood here already, but we're adding to our stack. We got the truck down here. We're planning on putting our cord or whatever it comes out to be right here, so we can get an exact measurement of what we did in, what was it, 2.5 hours?
2.5 as of right now.
All right, and then right here we got the brick unloaded, and so we will be building my maple syrup arch for my pan when we have enough, and it'll sit right here so I can feed the fire as well as split wood and everything else. So let's get to work.
All right, so we've got the wood brought back to Jacob's place. We've got it stacked and now we're measuring it. So you see here, we're now conservatively speaking, it's not a flat one, but we're gonna say 24 inches on the one stack. We already measured the whole shebang, and it is 9 foot across, and each stack is 20 inches.
This one's 4 foot in the back.
20 inches deep. Jacob says this is the back stack here. The rear stack is 4 foot high. So we're gonna run the numbers in the super.
You said 9 foot in length, right?
Yep.
And then depth is 20 inches.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
We got, that's 0.46 of a cord.
Okay, so the
Back one.
back stack is not quite half a cord. And then we have this one here, which was 20 inches by 9 foot by 24 inches.
And that's 0.23, so a quarter of a cord.
So 3/4 of a cord. We just flipped our third hour. I know it's unfortunately my stopwatch didn't run hours, but that was the third flip. So just over 3 hours to get, what was it, about 3/4 of a cord?
3/4 of a cord.
All right, so a couple guys, a couple chainsaws, a couple splitting axes. Some other things that were helpful was a tractor and the wagon, and then the pickup truck. But our biggest thing, would you say, Jacob, was that was the travel time. We had to come into the woods, out of the woods, in the woods, out of the woods. The cutting and the splitting and really even the stacking didn't take that long. But that's what you're looking at, is about 3/4 of a cord of wood. Something to think about in Ohio, at least I know for sure where I'm at in Ohio, you're only allowed to sell or firewood by the unit of a cord. So don't go buying it by the truckload, by the wheelbarrow load, by the bundle. Make them sell it to you by the cord. And I'll put a link to the Firewood cord calculator that we use. It's really handy. You just plug in the numbers and you don't have to convert anything. It just plugs it in and gives you the cordage. So this will wrap up the video for the field trip to Jacob's farm. Thank you, Jacob, for having us out.
No problem.
It was a good time. We had fun making the video and hope you find this useful.